Hi everyone, welcome back. On today's episode, we are going to be cracking the code of client retention. Now, I know this is top of mind for many of you right now. I know that many of you have had a year that's a little bit tougher than most. So, the concept of how to get clients into your business and how to keep them in your business has never been so important. We also know, and it's been said for years, that it's easier to keep a client than to get a client. So, keeping our clients happy, providing them what they want, and giving them an exceptional experience is really important to building your business over the long term. Today, we are taking the filter off. I'm just going to be sharing with you some of my proven tactics and some of the tactics that my clients are using as well right now that are working to help retain those clients in your business. Because once you've got those amazing clients, you don't want to lose them. I've got a number of strategies for you. I've got 12 or 13 here on the list. So there's a bit to get through. But today it's just going to be actionable, straight to the point strategies that you can take and adopt into your business right now to improve your client retention. When you think about clients in your business, what comes to mind for you? I remember a discussion some years ago in a community group where somebody asked about client retention. And the question was, how much is a client worth to you in dollar terms in your business? And I commented and said that it depended on the niche that that client was there for, the speciality that I was helping them with. That the average client in my business was with me for at least 6 months and was worth at least $5,000 to my business. Majority of clients were with me longer and were somewhere in the vicinity of $10,000 to $12,000 into my business. Now, not that every client is numbers, but you are running a business and revenue is the ultimate goal. What was really interesting is when I shared those stats in this community group some years ago, it didn't go down well, not with everybody. A lot of people took it badly, thinking about clients, retention, numbers, and revenue. But my question for you is, if you are running a business and you are not thinking about clients, potential, numbers, revenue, then why are you here? What are you running the business for? It's a business and you need to make money. And to make money in your business, you need to sell things. To sell things, you need clients. So let's dive into some of these keys to client retention. The first key to client retention I have for you today is get the right clients first up. There is nothing harder than trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. If you are attracting the wrong clients, it's going to be very hard for you to keep them over the long term and keep them happy. You need to make sure you're attracting the clients that you are best set to serve and help so you can get them great outcomes and they keep working with you again and again. Those amazing clients as well that you are best set to help are also the ones that will give you amazing referrals. So think about that first and foremost. What messaging do you have going out there? What marketing do you use? What offers and what services are you offering? Make sure that they are aligned with this ideal client. Number two, the second thing that's really important in developing long-term client retention starts at the very beginning, and it starts with a really good quality onboarding process. When you are committing money to work with somebody, and we're talking to service-based businesses here, everyone on my channel, everyone that follows me, you're running some sort of service-based business. You might be a therapist, you might be a practitioner, you might be a coach, you might be a creative, you might be a consultant, or anything else that's service-based. So we have people coming to us who need their problems solved. And these are generally not small things, and they're not outlaying small amounts of money to work with us. So that experience of working with you actually starts from the time that they book, whether they're booking a discovery call or whether they've actually paid. That first instance of communication from you is where the journey starts. You need to think long and hard about that image that you're putting through and the quality of that onboarding experience. Are those clients getting everything that they need to know? And are you delivering it in the best way possible so they get an outstanding experience from the very beginning? Number three, and this might sound like a no-brainer, but the amount of times I have experienced this myself, and it is deliver exactly what they paid for, but exceed their expectations. Deliver what they paid for, but exceed their expectations. Now, I have experienced this no end. In years gone by, when I was struggling with my health, the amount of different practitioners, doctors, therapists, everybody that I saw, and expended money on many, many thousands of dollars to not get results. Then coming into where I am now in this field, I always have a business mentor or a business strategist, someone that I can go to and get help and support and advice. I have spent, again, many, many thousands of dollars on this, upwards of $100,000 in this year alone. And what I can tell you is, time and again, I don't get quality for what I pay for. I come in to a service and am told you will get XYZ, but 9 times out of 10, I don't actually get that. They don't deliver what they promise, and they certainly exceed my expectations. So think about how you're doing that for your clients. It's important to note that as much as you might be delivering exactly what you said you would deliver, that sometimes isn't enough. If you want to get those great testimonials, those great pieces of feedback and reviews, it's actually the things where you go over and above that get you those. So think about how you can bring those into your business and offer those additional touch points. That's how you'll be remembered, and that's how you'll get referred. Point number 4 is along those lines, and it's about delivering the right solutions. It's what I talk about all the time. We don't want to be selling apples if everybody wants oranges. So it's about understanding what your ideal client really needs and making sure you provide. Point number 5 for you, you need to think about your customer journey. If you want to retain a client long term, they need to have a reason to stay. And that reason has to be that you're solving their problem. Think about working with you. What does that look like? Map out that customer journey from finding you to signing on with you to working with you to delivering the service, and then even to the offboarding at the end. What does that look like? Map out the customer journey that is going to give them the ultimate solution and the ultimate experience, and then deliver exactly that. Point number 6 when it comes to client retention is a little bit different. So hear me out here. I think you need to start thinking about what you're delivering to your clients in your solutions, in the offers that you have. And think about it this way. It's important to deliver what they want because that's what they've purchased, but you also have to provide what they need. Now, a great example of this in my naturopathic clinic was education. Nobody pays for education around their health. Nobody thinks they need it. Nobody thinks they want it. But what I can tell you from doing it for over a decade is I know if I don't educate somebody around their health and how to keep well over the long term, they will digress and they will end up unwell again. So as much as they came to me wanting to solve their problem, whatever their health issue was, I knew that I had to intertwine that with some education around how they can stay well over the long term in order to give them that long-term wellness that they were hoping for. So it's important to think, first up, what does this person want from you? What problem are they coming to solve? And then think about what they need. What do they need? Another example is this business. I have people coming to me looking for support with their marketing. They might want to learn how to use their social media organically. And that's a great thing to know. But I also know, unless I teach them how to create the right messaging to go with that social media, that they're not going to get traction. So I also teach them what they need as well as what they want. Point number 7 actually interlinks with the customer journey that we discussed just a minute ago. And I think it's really important to think about that whole journey of touch points when they're working with you, the consultations, the discussions, the solutions, the services, and make sure that you are tailoring it to their needs, but also how can we make it different each time? I work a lot with people who offer one-to-one services, and if you aren't tailoring that service enough or offering something a little bit different each time you see that client will come in 2, maybe 3 times, and then they have a tendency to drop off. Think about what you do in your work and how you can offer something a little bit different. Could you offer a slightly different type of diagnosis each time they come in? Could you be looking at something like iridology one week, and then the next consult do a zinc tally test, and then another consult do some muscle testing? If you are a therapist, could you be starting with working on their confidence in the first few consultations and then moving into their mindset and their money blocks in other consultations? There's different ways to do this depending on what modality you are. And the key is weaving that into what you do. So there is a process that moves your client along the line to success and along the lines of the solution that they want, while also keeping them interested and engaged. There is nothing more boring than coming for session after session and getting the same thing every time. You want to see different because different is where you get results. The next key to client retention is think about how you offer support, particularly particularly early on. People will need the most support when they're early in their journey of working with you. Once they get used to working with you and they start to sort out some of the issues that they came for, they will need less and less hand holding, less and less support. So think about how you can stack your service so there's more support and more assistance early on when your client's going to need it the most. The next point goes without saying, but it is tailoring your solution. There is nothing worse than showing up to get help and you get the same standard solution that someone else got offered and someone else got offered. Not only does that not work for your clients, it's not giving them the best experience and it's not delivering what you promised to deliver. Make sure that you are tailoring every service that you offer so it uniquely fits the client's needs and works them towards their individual goals. Number 11 in my top keys to client retention is engaging them in the journey. There is nothing that's going to turn your clients off working with you quicker than an authoritative style of telling them what to do and directing them. They need to buy into this journey. They need to be excited for what's coming and they need to be able to rely on you to get them there. So think about how you can work as a team with them, hold their hand, lead them in that journey, be the hero in the journey and help them get there. Think about how you can work with them, teamwork with them, hold their hand, shine the light and take them on the journey that they need to take. The next key to retention is getting our clients engaged and motivated in their end goal. When you start working with somebody, make sure you detail what their ultimate goals are. Why are you here? What do you want to achieve? What's the ultimate outcome of working with me? Then each time you see them, bring them back to those and point out how they're moving along the journey. Keep them inspired, keep them motivated, and keep them moving forward towards their goals. And the last point that I have for you, and it's something that is really important, particularly if you are offering any done-for-you services, one-to-one services that have deliverables in them. And this is offering a really quick turnaround. There seems to be a trend in a lot of service-based businesses where we're not offering a solution at the end of that initial appointment. We're taking time to develop treatment plans and write case studies and put information together. And then you're getting your client back 1 week or 2 weeks in the future to deliver all of your great knowings. The problem with this is your client came to you for a reason. They strike when the iron is hot. They might have had this problem for a long period of time, and then something has happened. Something has flicked that switch for them and pushed them to the point of, I need help right now. They've come into you to get help, and then you've gone, right, come back in a week or come back in 2 weeks. And for me, in my clinic as a naturopath, this is something I never did. I feel that client's come into me for help, so I need to be really timely in the way I provide it. Now, if you are somebody who needs to take time to create deliverables, create treatment plans, create a course of action, that's great, but give them a timeline. And I would really implore you to get back to them within 24 to 48 hours. Try not to leave it a week or 2 weeks, because in that week or 2 weeks, their health has changed or their motivations changed, their needs have changed. You need to strike while their iron is hot and get them on the process of creating that change in that journey. So be really timely with whatever you have to deliver for your clients to keep them motivated and keep them moving forward. So today I've offered there for you, I think in the end it was 12 or even 13 different points we got to about ways to improve your client retention. This year, in this economy, I know a lot of people are struggling with this. How do I keep my clients once they're here? So these are really important things that you can start activating in your business to ensure that the clients that you get stay with you as long as possible, stay long enough to get the outcomes that they need, and can give you some great referral business too, hopefully in the future. So your takeaways today are all of those points that I offered. Think about them in relation to your business. How can you bring those into your business and how can you use those to increase your client retention over the long term? Thank you so much for being with me today. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Empowered Marketing Unleashed.